Greetings. Welcome to Beauty and Joy of Computing. In this short video, we're going to study the basics of a project called Simple Studio for Character Design and Animation. I know when you mention character design and animation, it sounds very complicated. We always think about Toy Story, Pixar, etc. But ours obviously is going to be very simple, and you could see it as a stepping stone to more interesting works later, such as Pixar's. First, I want to show you the environment in which we're going to be creating this project. We're going to be using UC Berkeley's Snap software. You might recall that it is an extension, a more advanced version of MIT's Scratch. And what we're going to do in this project, and let me just show you on an empty canvas. So what we're going to create here is when the user initiates the program by clicking the green arrow, the mouse becomes a drawing tool. So when the user is going to move the mouse, is going to be able to create some kind of a shape. And what the once the drawing mode is finalized, the up, down, right, left arrows are then able to move the character that has been created around. So let's just do a simple animation that might be of interest. Imagine we want to create a UFO, and you're going to have to forgive my artistic skills for this, but here we go. Imagine you created a UFO, and let's give it some antenna. Let's also give it some lights here in the perimeter of the UFO. Imagine that you liked it. When you like it and you want to now animate this, all you have to do is press the arrow keys, up, down, right, left, etc. And here you could create the effect of a UFO hovering over, maybe looking for a place to land. I can see that as of some use for artists or aspiring cartoon artists, I should say. You may have noticed that when we started moving, some of the dots became less well spaced. This is because when we were doing the drawing, the computer was sampling the mouse locations and it was probably missing some of them. When that happens, no big deal. You just go over and recreate some of those again. And by the way, you could also add some new features. And when you do your animation, these features will be also captured. Okay? So what I want to now do is I want to discuss what this project has to do with lists, because we are in the unit called lists, and I want to quickly recap a couple of things about lists. Lists are data structures that I personally always liken them to a train. The train has many wagons, and what you could do in these wagons is you could actually store information or things. So I think of a list as a data structure which has a beginning and an end, and in which you can basically store some items. They become handy, lists become handy when you have many things to keep track of and you don't know ahead of time how many things you're going to need to take care of. It is possible that at the end I want to have more data stored in my list. No big deal, you just append the list by adding one more item at the end of it. Okay? So let's try to visualize how our drawing program is going to invoke a list to store some data. So as the user clicks on the canvas and moves the mouse, we need to store all the mouse locations as the drawing progresses, so that when the drawing is finished and the arrow keys are being pressed, these locations could be updated as needed. So I'm now adding some values to the y coordinates of the existing locations if I want to move it up, or subtracting from the y coordinates if I want to move down, and similarly for right and left. Okay, so if you think about it, you will notice that a list is an ideal data structure in this drawing program, because what we want to do is store a number of items, many actually in this case items, in an orderly fashion. And what we also want to be able to do is we want to be able to add some more things at the end of it. So if you ever wanted to add some more points to your drawing by creating some more dots, etc., what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to update our lists, and with the up, down, right, left keys, we want to be able to change the data that is stored in the list data structure. Okay, so I hope this is giving you some insight as to how this can be done. In the next videos, we are going to give more hints as to how would you initialize your conditions in the coding, what kind of variables and lists you would need to create, etc. So I hope this was of some use to you. Thank you.